Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of Warm Yoga on Your Back. This is First World Problems Part 2. I am Xavier,
And I am Mr. J.
and he's about as perturbed as I am because honestly, all of this is annoying. And it's usually my job to find the best topics and whatnot to talk about. And we honestly like to stick with nonsense, comedy, and rambling. But a lot of these episodes lately is just because I think we need to vent, bitch, get it out of our system so we can move on to more important things like, well, actually, no, this is actually important. Mr. J, would you like to start off with more?
Oh,
Okay, first world problems, like we discussed in the first episode, people are actually inventing hardships and issues that they just can't live with in a society where they almost don't have hardships. And it's pathetic. I find it amusing. And they're trying to change this system that they live in, that they actually have it so great compared to many other countries. I mean, even the ones in Europe that they love so much, yeah, those things are crashing down. They are on fire. They are in so much debt, crumbling ruin, and that's what they want to turn this country into. And I find it like you can't even read anything like to understand what's actually going on. You just automatically assume free health care. That's what we need. That's what we should have. It's a right. It's not a right, and it's going to make things worse. Our own fucking politicians can't even have a balanced budget. We're 20 trillion in debt. What do you think free healthcare is going to do? Nothing in this world is free. You know the amount of fucking taxes they're going to take out of your fucking paycheck for free healthcare? And after a certain point, logically speaking, when people start realizing that other people are paying for them, they're not going to work.
hence welfare.
Right. Another example of that, give a man a fish, he'll bleed the system dry. That's what a lot of us have been indoctrinated over the years. FDR sold Social Security as an optional thing to the American people. But when the bill actually passed, it became mandatory. Gotta love that, huh? Sold to you. And now we are actually raised to believe that it's a good thing. It's not a good thing because there's no consent. I am forced to pay for something that I may or may not want. Would I take it? Yeah, I'd take it. But I should still have the fucking choice to do so. And what do the politicians do? They raided the entire thing, and there's nothing left. And then they say, oh, well, it might get shut down. Well, then if it might get shut down, then why am I still paying for it? Shit like that. And they continue to raid it. It's bullshit. The same thing's going to happen with any other fucking social program that walks in. First world fucking problems. It's pathetic. You gotta dream up issues because you think you have hardships. You don't even know what fucking hardship is.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I even know what true fucking hardship is. I mean, I've had my fair share of problems and tough times, but nothing in comparison to hardships that other people across the world have suffered. Um, I mean, I don't understand why people feel it necessary to make themselves out to be victims when literally the solution to the fucking problem is held in each individual's hands.
Yeah?
As a collective, if we would put our heads and hands together, we could solve a lot of fucking problems. But it's easier to just play the role of the victim and I mean, that's it. It's
Well, back to first world problems. We can talk about. Damn it! I had something and I like immediately lost it the moment I clicked on my picture. Uh, oh, the everybody runs around and says, "Oh, we have poor people in the United States, and everything like that." Minus homeless, which is about 100 to 200,000, maybe even a million. Let's go with that. A million people that are homeless out of 320 plus million people. What's that percentage? Yeah. Anyway, the poor, i.e., lower class people that they tout that they're trying to say is poor, every single one of them has fucking internet connection, a phone, and a television. They are not poor. Do you want to know what actual poor people are? Look around the fucking world. Once again, this is first world problems. You think you have it hard. You do not. And you're trying to change something that's going to make you a hell of a lot worse off. You want to give more power to the state to control business, to control fucking every single thing that goes on. The one thing I loved was I saw a post the other day about the median rent for the United States is like $1,400 or something shit like that. But to have a good amount for pay, the rent has to be like 20% of your paycheck. Okay, and then they did the numbers, and it's like you have to make $30,000 something like a year, or $30 an hour to meet that average. And I'm like, and that they want the state to come in and tell people that because the federal wage is $7.49, they want the state to come in and make it $30 an hour. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? The prices will go up on everything, and it will not matter. It'll be the exact same thing.
Well, I mean, people should be, paid for their worth.
Yeah.
Like you said, the minimum wage is what, $7.49 or something like that.
Something like that.
$7.52, or it's some fucked up ridiculous number, but the minimum wage is literally just that, minimum wage. That's right. No skills, no real world experience. That's
that's a McDonald's.
Yeah,
and I can tell you now, almost all McDonald's do not pay the minimum wage. They pay more than that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's $1 billion company that probably will never go out of business.
Right.
Worldwide. And yeah, I guess they can afford to do that because their turnover rate's so goddamn high too.
Yeah.
But the fact is that, you take someone that's maybe 30, 35 years old that suddenly loses their job, and if they cannot find a job placement in the career choice that they made, they have to settle for a job that literally pays $10 an hour. I'm living fucking proof of that. I was making $30 a fucking hour in my career. Mm-hmm. When I lost my job, I was forced to take a job that only paid $10 an hour. So now, I go from making $60,000 a year to making less than 30, mm-hmm. and I'm still supposed to be able to maintain $1,000 in rent and my regular bills and food, and it can't fucking happen.
Well, so then I would ask you, as a person who has to deal with that, do you think the solution is for the government to come in and force the company to raise your wages up to $30 an hour so that way you'll be able to pay for that?
Absolutely fucking not. There was a point where I actually held 3 jobs. I was working 100 plus hours a week just to make it ends meet. I wasn't standing at the doors of the corporate office of these businesses saying, you need to raise my pay because I have a family to take care of. No. I just did what it fucking took. And I knew walking in the fucking door that I wasn't going to make $30 an hour, and I still chose to go that route. Because honestly, $10 an hour was better than $0 an hour, and depending on the government to wipe my ass and feed me, you know. So again, it's that choice thing. I mean, people walk into these businesses knowing what they're paying out, yet they still proceed to take these jobs, but then they want to bitch that they're only making this much money and they can't fucking survive off of that. All right. Well, if you know you can't fucking survive off of that, you've got to find something better or find some sort of additional income. You know?
Yeah, I've always found that if you're in a job that doesn't pay you really well, while you're working there, look for other jobs that pay better
it.
And keep working at it.
And you know, it's one of those things where, like I was saying, it's easier to play the victim. Oh, I got forced into this, and now I'm only making this much money. And it's like, all right, well, you know, at the same time, these are the same people that are like, yeah, I got done with high school, but I didn't want to fucking go to college, or I didn't want to learn a trade, or I didn't want to join the military. So I'm going to walk into this place and expect to make $20, $30 an hour, but I have no skill set that can back up that wage. But I still need it because it's owed to me.
And that's what I think the problem actually is that I think that people honestly believe that they are entitled to what they feel they're worth.
It's an entitlement issue.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. And if it cannot be given to them by earning it, they want it given to them by force.
Well, it goes back to our discrimination episode, which I don't think we really covered, was the equal opportunity thing where, and a lot of women are still bitching about this, that men make more money than them.
They don't. It's been disproven.
But whatever. The point is that, you know, I shouldn't be given a job just because I'm black. I shouldn't make more money just because I'm a male.
And yet, if you go to Google, that is what will happen.
But
if you are female, odds are you will get a job. Or if you're black, odds are you will get a job. It's the same thing with colleges. They fucking alter the SAT scores to fit the diverse joining of people coming in. And that's fucking racism. I'm sorry.
Honestly, like one of the places that I worked at, the person that literally made the most money in the building, aside from the owner, was a white lesbian. And
was she good at her job?
She was damn good at her job.
Then I don't see what the problem is.
Honestly, I have yet to find a man in the industry that is equal to her ability. But, you know, you take that example, it's like, that's a complete disproof of the whole men make more than women in these industries. No, it's not fucking true. It's just, she worked her ass off and climbed that fucking ladder to get where she was at. And she went through the struggles and all that. So I give her credit. You know, it's like, but there's men that walk in to that same industry that are like, I demand this because I'm a man in this industry. And it's like, no, motherfucker.
No. Well, it's the entire wage gap myth was generated because of a single study that happened in 2012 or 2014. I can't remember. But feminists used that as the means of why there's a 70% gap in pay. But the truth is that even the people that made the study said that's not what the study was for. They're misusing it. It's not truth. It's a lie. It's about earnings. Women earn 70% less, not wages. Earnings are based off of how many vacations do you take? Do you bear children and take 9 months off? Do men or women stay longer at the workplace? Do men and women ask for wages more? Men ask for higher wages more than women. Women are more agreeable in the workplace. It does not mean that people are being discriminated against. And that's, once again, it's been disproven time and time again, but they keep blowing it out. And then even to prove it, feminists came up with more studies to try and prove that that study was true, and it all ended up being false, and that it was actually earnings, and it's completely not true. And in similar fields, same education, same entry level, everything like that, working up the ranks, women earn 2% more than men.
I believe that.
But even then, that's not something that I would bitch about. If you are worth it, you should get it. It's that simple.
Right. But, I mean, and my point is that you cannot walk into a place like Target or Walmart or McDonald's and demand $30 an hour to stock shelves or flip burgers.
Right, they'll laugh you out the fucking store.
You can't fucking do it. They're run-of-the-mill, bottom-rung, blue-collar jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I mean, you cannot expect to make your fortune off of being a McDonald's clerk. It's not going to fucking happen.
What even comes down to the lie that we were told whenever we were in school, which is you must go to college. You must get a college degree. Now it's pretty much a worthless piece of paper, and you put yourself into debt.
Honestly, I have two college degrees, and I don't use either one of them.
Yeah.
So, well, one I use to an extent, but the other one is pointless for all intents and purposes.
Well, that and you can't go to a college and expect to get a degree in something that nobody uses anymore, like feminist dance theory. Or cultural appropriation and all that nonsense. No one cares. And you're trying to create a world that should somehow exist. It's not going to exist.
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how trigonometry fits into my daily life, but...
My 11-year-old flat out says she did something more than algebra. I forget what the next one in algebra is. I asked her, I said, how'd she do on the test? And she goes, I did so well that I'm not going to use it whenever I get out of school.
Yeah, like, I don't think once I've used the knowledge that I learned in school, period.
No, I was fucking stupid in school, straight up. The moment I got out of school, that's whenever I actually started researching, loving history, things like that, learning about things.
Yeah.
Made my brain synapses just fucking snap.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I find something that interests me, I'll fucking read up on it, and maybe reading up on that, I'll find something else, and then I'll be like, oh, and I'll read up on that, and I'll surf it and build that knowledge. But it's like all the shit that we're force fed in school. It just
yeah.
And they wonder why GPAs are so fucking low and kids don't want to go to school and shit like that.
Yeah. It just fucking astonishes me that people want to change the world in such a way that they think it will be better. It is not. It will never be better in what they want to change it into. Everything that they want to do, there will be less businesses. They will not be able to start their own businesses because they have to go for the $30 an hour minimum wage. They have to pay for every state. All women will never be hired again because they have to pay for 9 months and 8 weeks of childbirth along with the father. And if the father works at the same company, that's double the amount of money that the company would have to pay. And it's like, you're going to create a world of nothing.
It's going to completely brutalize the economy is what it's going to do.
Yeah, but they don't seem to care because they live in a fucking fantasy world.
No, because they're fucking paid, so they don't care.
Yeah. Or at least they think that's what's going to happen. It's like the people touting about fucking free healthcare and whatnot. I'm like, seriously, look at Canada's numbers. 40% tax off the top right away for free healthcare. Figure that shit out.
It's like, if it wasn't forced upon us, if we literally took an entire 40-hour work week and no one in the workforce paid taxes on that 40-hour work week, it would send the fucking government into a frenzy, a financial frenzy.
That wouldn't be my problem. I'm of the belief that this is the amount of money. I look at it from a business standpoint. This is the amount of money that you have. You work within that budget. That's it. You don't try and borrow more money, put yourself into more fucking debt, and destroy your company. Because in the real world, any business that does that, if they can't pay back their loans, they fall. But a government can just continue to borrow money. They know the amount of money that they take in. They don't care. They continue to spend over it. And they think it's sustainable. It's not sustainable. We will fall at some point. And everybody's answer to that, who's a little whiny fantasy fuck, is give the government more power over our taxes.
Yep, because our tax dollars sure the fuck aren't going to what they need to.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that I saw. People bitching about we have like 100,000+ homeless people in the world. How come we aren't taking care of them? I'm like, exactly. Why aren't we taking care of them? We gave billions of dollars to countries all over the world that actually hate us. Why? And yet we're still in debt.
But on the same fucking hand, yeah, we've got 100,000+ homeless in the United States. How many of that 100,000+ are actually physically and mentally capable of earning a living?
Valid point. A lot of Vietnam vets came back and they became homeless.
And do you know what? You can claim the PTSD or...
I'm not claiming anything. I'm just saying
whatever. For as far as veterans go, honestly, I cannot sympathize or empathize with a homeless veteran because I can't. Well, a homeless...
You're going to get in trouble for that. You know that, right?
I don't give two flying fucks or half a rat's ass how much trouble I get in for that. I don't... If you are physically, at least physically, capable of fucking working, work. Don't stand on the side of a fucking freeway with a sign that says, I'm a vet, feed me. I'm just going to keep fucking rolling. I'm not even going to stop. I'm not even going to look in your fucking direction. I just think that, there's mentally handicapped people out there that are earning a fucking living.
Yeah, there's a Down syndrome guy who actually hires nothing but Down syndrome people to work at his business that he created, and he's a fucking multi-millionaire.
Right. You cannot tell me that a mental disorder is stopping you from fucking working.
So it's...
if you're in... just look at Stephen Hawking, for example. The man couldn't move anything. And he still earned a fucking living.
Yeah.
There's no fucking excuse. None.
Yeah.
If you are fucking capable of working, fucking work.
I can't argue that. The only thing I can honestly say to that is because I come from a military family, I'm merely biased. But then when I listen to you, I take a step back and push that bias off to the side and just treat the vet as just a normal person to me.
That's
and
all
I'm
they
in
are.
full fucking agreement with you.
That is all they fucking are. I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you for your service. Much appreciated. You fought for our freedom. But guess what? Our freedom is at risk of being taken. And you're sitting on a fucking street corner with a sign that says, I'm a vet, feed me, instead of doing something to help out your fucking fellow man.
That's another thing I can honestly say is
you are contributing to the fucking problem. You are not part of the fucking solution.
I can actually go a step further with that and say that one thing I can absolutely agree with is the government taking our tax money to take care of the veterans because they owe them that debt, but they don't do it. They don't fucking do any of it. They're a bunch of lazy fucking nitwit VA motherfuckers that do nothing for our vets, okay? And like one of the times that the money actually should be going to them, they fucking let them just kill themselves all the fucking time. And they don't give a fuck. They're too busy spending millions of dollars on artwork for their buildings.
My thing, though, is maybe our local governments, I'm not even talking on a federal level, maybe just local governments. I mean, you take cities like Chicago and Detroit, Philadelphia, that have these homeless problems. All they have to do is create a subsidiary of their waste management programs to pay homeless people a minimum wage to clean up the streets. So, one, you're solving two problems. You are getting the homeless employment and off the street, having them lead functionable lives, and you are cleaning up your city and making it more enjoyable for people to live in.
Well, I actually agree with that.
That's a very simple fucking solution.
I actually agree with that. But then you got the whiny bitches that we've been talking about who say, well, government should just give them free housing and free food and everything like that. It's just like, on my dime, I don't think so. Sorry.
So, which brings me back to I think we actually covered this in like one of our very first fucking episodes, was when my daughter was starting of school age. Our school district has a Head Start program to allow kids to get that jump on school and get acclimated to school so that they're not just dropped right into the wolves' den. And I tried to sign my daughter up for that, but because I made too much money, I was not eligible for a Head Start program. So just because I made set amount of dollars a year, my daughter was not entitled to a Head Start on her education. But low-income welfare kids could, just because they were low-income welfare kids. They had the fucking balls to tell me, well, there's a daycare that teaches Head Start. By the way, it's $300 a week. But you make this much money, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I responded with, yeah, I make this much money, but my mortgage is this much, and my car payment is this much, and my food is this much, and my bills are this much, and my insurance is this much. So where do you see that $300?
No, don't speak rationally and logically.
By my calculations, at the end of the 2 weeks,
I'm poor as fuck.
I'm in the fucking red. I'm in the fucking red. So I am worse off than the welfare cases because I don't get housing assistance, and I don't get food assistance, and I don't get cash assistance, and all that shit. No. I don't think that homeless or poor people should just be handed shit. Make a fucking contribution to society, you fucking leech. Jesus fuck. If you want to sit your fat ass on the fucking couch and watch fucking movies all goddamn day, your fat ass could get up and fucking do something. Be a productive member of fucking society.
Well, isn't that kind of what all this is about, is incentivizing people to not do anything? That's what I'm starting to come to that conclusion that people who don't do anything, they get more out of everything.
And even it comes down to income tax time, a person that only works, partial of the fucking year and gets welfare and assistance, but they want to pop out 5 fucking kids, and they get $8,000 back on their fucking income tax. You take somebody like me who busts their fucking ass 80 hours a week all year fucking long, and I get $1,500 back on my income tax. It's like, bitch, you didn't even make $8,000 a fucking year.
Yep.
How the fuck are you getting? You're literally doubling your fucking income because you're a fucking welfare case. You're a lazy fucking cow.
Yeah, and that's accepted in society, and you and I, are looked down upon for pointing the finger at them and saying that's bad.
Put my horns up. I'm the fucking devil.
But yeah, that's.
What's our timestamp?
Timestamp is 30 minutes.
We're going to take another break, y'all. So,
all right.
I'm going to freshen up my coffee, gather my thoughts. Xavier's going to find other ways to push my buttons. But in the meantime, enjoy your lives, and we'll see you when we come back. I'm Mr. J. That's Xavier. We'll see you next time.